Hello students, today's lesson is on converting units of measure. Our learning objective will be to be able to convert units between millimeters, centimeters, meters and kilometers. Now we'll only be doing a couple of these today, and then our next lesson we'll be doing the other two, because there's 4 different units here to deal with. Now along the left side, our real life links includes things like construction, geometry, architecture, art and design. Sports, deforestation can be kind of linked to that as well, and the keywords obviously the ones we've mentioned above: height, length, width, measure, estimate or estimation, imperial units, metric units. Imperial is when it was things like miles and yards, and metric is when it's centimeters, kilometers and meters. Okay, so they're different types of units. Imperial was what was used in the past, and obviously now we've moved more towards using metric units. Okay, there's a big question on the right side which you guys hopefully will be able to answer. It's not essential, but it's a question that I want you guys to reflect on and think about at the end of the lesson. So we're going to go straight into a warm-up here, and I won't need to explain to you guys how to do this. We did this in, I believe it was September, October time in school. You guys learned how to multiply and divide numbers when we were dealing with decimals, I believe it was. So I want you guys to pause the video, have a go at these. Should take no longer than 2 minutes, and then we'll come back together with the answers. So just pause the video now, have a go. Okay, so we should have answered those questions, and I'm just going to give you the answer. And the reason why we've done this as a warm-up is because essentially what we are doing is multiplying and dividing by 10, 100 and 1,000, but it's just knowing when to do what. So when to multiply by 10 or 100 or 1,000 and when to divide. Okay, so understanding the relationship between the units is very important. Okay, so I want you guys to have a look at the text below. The prefix kilo means 1,000. So wherever you see kilo, you know that it's linked to 1,000. Okay, so kilometer, you can also have a kilogram as well. So those are always going to be linked to 1,000 of something. Okay, so kilometer would mean 1,000 meters. And kilogram would obviously be 1,000 grams. Okay, and centi means 100. Okay, so we did, I think we did, this was discussed when you guys were doing percentages. Percent, cent, the word cent itself, century, it means 100. Okay, so a centimeter is 100 centimeters equals 1 meter. Okay, and the prefix milli also means 1,000, but milli is not the same as kilo. Kilo signifies something big, whereas milli sounds a bit like mini as well, and it signifies something quite small. Okay, so even though milli is also 1,000, it's a small 1,000, and whereas a kilo is a large 1,000, if that makes sense. So millimeter is 1,000 millimeters would equal 1 meter. Okay. And that's just an example. Now, length, which is what we're going to be converting today, we're going to be converting units of length. So length is a measure of distance, of how far things are. So it could be how far between 2 different points, how far between 2 different locations, how far between one corner of a shape to another, how far between for the length of or the side of one side of a shape, and so on. Okay, and the different lengths of measure we have are millimeter, centimeter, meter and kilometer. Okay, you would have heard of things as we discussed on the first page, miles and yards and so on, and feet. Those are imperial lengths. Okay, we're dealing with metric units of length, and these are very important ones here on the right side. If you have a look, the metric units of length, these conversions are very important. So what we should know is 1,000 meters is 1 kilometer, 100 centimeters makes 1 meter, 1,000 millimeters is 100 centimeters, and 10 millimeters is 1 centimeter. So I want you guys to copy this down somewhere, because it will come in handy throughout this lesson and potentially the following lesson as well. So just copy those down. Now, moving on. Ideally, this you might want to take a picture of this to help you. So take a picture of your phone, so when you're trying questions, you will know how to kind of go about it and whether you're going to be multiplying or dividing. Okay, so if you have a look at the first example, we want to convert 5 centimeters into millimeters. So if you have a look at the diagram above, we are starting at centimeters and we are going to millimeters. So we are using the red arrow. Okay, now because we're using the red arrow and we're going from right to left, we're going towards the left side, we are timesing by 10. So 5 times 10, simply we know what that is already, it's 50. But this time, because it said into millimeters, you need to put down the units at the end. Okay, so that's what the answer would be there. Now when we're trying this one here, converting 75 centimeters into millimeters, again we're timesing by 10 and the answer would be 750 millimeters. Okay, I want you guys to have a go at these two, so just pause the video quickly as a practice, have a go at these two questions, and we'll come back together shortly. So we'll have a pause of the video now. Okay, so we should have answered those two questions. And the first one and the second one, the answers for the first one is 56 millimeters, and the second one would have been 320,000 millimeters. So we were just timesing by 10. So hopefully from this you should know now, whenever you convert centimeters to millimeters, you just times it by 10, because 1 centimeter equals 10 millimeters. So 100 centimeters will equal 1,000 millimeters, and so on. You're just timesing it by 10. Okay. Now this time around we are going to go the other way. We are going from millimeters to centimeters, so I'm sure you know this time around we will be using the green arrow. So we're going from mm to cm. Okay, so we're using the green arrow, we're going from left to right. And in this case, we're going to divide by 10, so it's going to be 53 divided by 10, and we should know that that is 5.3. But this time, if you notice, it's centimeters. Okay, it's centimeters. And the second one, now convert 7,580 millimeters into centimeters, and here it's going to be 7,580. Again, we're dividing by 10, and the answer should be 758 centimeters. See how we have to put the units on at the end. The centimeters is very important you do that. I want you to have a go at these two questions here. So pause the video, have a go, and we'll come back together shortly. Okay, so the answers that we should have got would have been 5.6 centimeters for the first one and 3,200 centimeters for the second one. So basically, when you're converting millimeters to centimeters, you're just always going to divide by 10. Okay, it's a case of memorizing with this sort of topic, memorizing what you do where and understanding what's bigger than what. Okay, because then you know whether you're dividing or multiplying. Okay, for this practice task, I want you guys to try all 8 of these questions. There's 4 on each. The first row, you're converting them into centimeters. For the second row, obviously, you're converting into millimeters. So have a go, pause the video, have a go at these, and we'll come back together shortly with the answers. Okay, so we should have answered these questions by now, and the answers are given to you now. Okay. So have a look through those, and now this was so it could help you on the main task. Now if you made 1 or 2 mistakes, I want you guys to try 5 from red, 5 from yellow. If you got all of them correct, you are going to do all of red and all of yellow. If you have made more than 2 mistakes, then I want you guys to try 4 from red, 4 from yellow. Okay, and the way you're going to do this is you need to put the subheadings for red and yellow separately. So convert to mm, it would be your subheading, and then you're writing the question 4.1 cm equals, and then your answer in millimeters. You're going to do that the same thing for each of those questions. Once you've done that, take a picture, upload it to class charts, and that will complete your learning for today's lesson, and your teachers will have a look through that and get back to you if they need to. Any questions, anything you're confused with, message your teachers via class charts or maths watch, and they will do their best to help. That's all for today's lesson. Thank you for watching the video. See you in the next one.